This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Woo Woo Girls Guide to Infinite Wisdom with your host, Mary Oquendo, and the lovely and warm Laura Sanger-Watkins.
You said I was
Laura.
supposed to introduce you. Hi, you said I was supposed to introduce you this time.
Oh, okay, you can introduce me. Go ahead.
Welcome to the Woo Woo Girls Guide to Infinite Wisdom with your host, the incredibly wise, intuitive, and fabulous Mary Oquendo, and me, Laura Sanger-Watkins.
Well, hello, Laura. How's it going?
Good, Mary. How are you?
Pretty good. Today's topic is going to be on holiday stress and the effects on the pets in our lives. This show is airing, I believe, for beginning of November. And so the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas is just about getting started in full gear. We're already seeing in the stores that it's not even Halloween when the show is being recorded, and we already have Christmas decorations up in the stores.
I ignore those.
Yeah, I ignore them too. But anyway, so what causes stress in pets during the holiday season? So let's there's several things that cause stress in pets. And the first one is overstressed family members, all right? We're running around like nuts. We got to get our shopping done. We got company coming over. We got to buy groceries. We got to cook. We got to clean. There's so much we have to do. But when we are stressed and our bodies release hormones, both adrenaline and cortisol, and those are the stress hormones. And since a pet's sense of smell is so much greater than ours, they are able to perceive these hormones on us. And as they look to us as their pack leader, if we're worried about something, there must be something to worry about. So by virtue of us running around like lunatics, we're stressing our pets out. And by the way, this is both dogs and cats. Even though cats don't necessarily appear to care, they do. So they're fully aware when we're stressed as well. The second thing that can cause stress in pets is a change in diet. The holiday season can disrupt not only their normal diet, but their feeding schedule because we got to go shopping. Maybe we're going to hit shopping directly from work. And so instead of feeding the dogs and our cats on their regular schedule, it's now pushed back an hour or two. So that disrupts their schedule. And dogs are more put off by this than cats, by the way. I liken dogs to guys and cats to women, by the way. And you can't change the routine of a dog, all right? It kind of screws them up. So in addition to that, holiday food is so much richer. There's lots of gravies and creams, and it's much higher in fat, and it's far more available. And it can also be filled with sugars, and not only just like regular sugar. So much of the cookies and candies that we buy are loaded up with xylitol, artificial sweeteners, which are very, very dangerous to dogs and cats.
I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah. It causes an unsafe drop in blood sugar, so it puts them into shock. I mean, and it can kill a dog pretty quickly. It's not as deadly in cats as it is in dogs, but it's still not something to be messing around with. And in addition to like pies and creams, that some of the food is very, very fatty. It can cause bouts of pancreatitis in pets. And if your pet is going to be sick, it's going to be Thanksgiving Eve, and all the vets are going to be closed until the following Monday.
Yeah, that's scary.
And then you're stuck. Exactly, and then you're stuck going to the emergency clinic. And also, one of the numbers I would like everybody should have on hand is the number for the Pet Poison Helpline, and the number is, and this is being recorded, so if you missed the number, hit the recording again and you'll catch it. It's 855-764-7661, and I'll repeat that number again in a couple of minutes in case you want to go run get a pen. That's the number for the Pet Poison Helpline. If you feel that your pet's been poisoned, especially over a holiday weekend, this is the number you want to call because minutes matter in a poisoning, and especially if you can't get a hold of your vet. It's not a free call. The helplines are not funded by our tax dollars. It's funded by your credit card. So the first thing that they're going to ask is your credit card, and then they'll go from there. However, it is staffed by pharmacology-trained veterinarians, so you're not getting some upset kid that he has to work on Thanksgiving. You're getting a veterinarian at the other end of that phone.
That's good to know.
And also, things that taste really good sometimes comes in packages, which dogs might rip open. So if there's like candies and that they eat the candy whole without unwrapping it, those wrappers can cause sometimes more damage than the candy itself.
My cousin's dog ate an entire 2-pound pack of hot dogs, like the pack, beside the dogs themselves. He ate like the packaging too.
Yeah, that packaging and wrapping can cause a lot. It can get entwined in the intestines, can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, he
but
was
some
lucky
of the
enough
foods,
not to need surgery, so that they were really grateful that he kind of got away with it. But that's what the vet had told him. The vet had told him that sometimes it could kill a pet.
yes, especially big wads of plastic like that can actually block, entrances and exits to the intestines.
Poor puppies.
But some of the foods that are more commonly found in the holidays, a lot of people cook with onions, and onions are very dangerous to pets. It's very poisonous to them. Grapes, especially around New Year's Eve. So nuts, a lot of the nuts are problematic for pets. And bones, cooked turkey bones can lacerate intestines and stomach linings and all that sort of stuff. So you want to watch their food and keep them as close to their diet as possible. Change in routine is another cause. I mean, you're spending more time away from home shopping. You might be visiting, friends and relatives. So you're not home when you're supposed to be home. There could also be extra visitors in your house. And now your pet senses are in overload. There might be children running around trying to touch them, right? As well as adults who use different or too much perfumes and colognes. Your pet's sense of smell is much greater than ours. So, Aunt Sally with the 4 gallons of perfume, which is really annoying and making our eyes water, can you imagine what it does to your poor pet's senses? Your house is going to be louder than normal, again with those extra tasty temptations everywhere. And sometimes visitors might also be other pets traveling with your guests. And, and like us, not all relatives are looked forward to. All right. And then another cause of stress might be you traveling, visiting out of area and friends and relatives. And that's disruptive whether they're boarded or they're going with you. So those are the causes of stress in pets. And these are basically the same things that cause stress in ourselves. And stress, like us, is the effects of stress on pets is very similar to ourselves. So there's tons of studies that have already shown that there is that similarity between stress in people and stress in pets. So when the pets are now releasing adrenaline and cortisol into their body, their heart and respiratory rate, as well as the aging process, starts to speed up. It could also inhibit the immune system, can reduce blood flow to the brain. It could shut down the reproductive system. And a secondary effect of a suppressed reproductive system is cardiovascular disease. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
And that's the same. And what I just talked about here, the effects of stress on pets, this is exactly what happens, to us too, as the effects of stress on us.
Wow.
So, hold on one second. Go back. Okay. So what are some of the indications of stress in pets? Your pet may look like it is restless. It may be exhausted. It may have pet may have lost their appetite. They can also exhibit aggressive, destructive, or obsessive compulsive behaviors. They may vocalize more. And if your pet may either experience ailments related to the immune, digestive, respiratory, and circulatory systems, and if they've already have issues in these areas, it can make those situations a little bit worse.
Well, what can we do to help? I mean, other than like kick everybody out and be home on time,
Yeah, well, what can we do? Well, the first thing you could do is provide a quiet place for your pet to escape. And it can be something as simple as just allowing them in the bedroom and closing the door. All right? Or in my house, we have crates everywhere. So you can cover the crates with a sheet for privacy and just kind of, give them their own little space. Ricky, oh my God, when my mother-in-law used to come up with her Chihuahua, the first thing Ricky would do is he would like run into his crate and he'd be begging you to close the door and lock him in.
Wasn't a fan?
No, not a fan of. Junior, yeah, no. And Junior liked him, but
I'm
Junior
sure.
thought he was the boss of him too.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So he's got this little tiny little Chihuahua, just totally intimidating and hurting and just irritating my very large golden retriever. You can infuse the pet's area with lavender essential oil in a diffuser. You can use lavender around cats if you diffuse it in the air. You shouldn't use oils around birds at all. You don't want to use candles with essential oils because you're heating the oil.
Right.
Instead
and that kind of destroys the constituents.
Exactly. It destroys it. Yeah, it's not the same thing anymore. If
Right. Well, any of the beneficial volatile oils will evaporate into the air, and all the constituents that help them actually be soothing and work on you would be null and void.
Exactly. Candles could also be a fire hazard, especially with overexcited pets. Right? But getting back to the oils around cats, you shouldn't diffuse any oil around birds. So if you have birds, don't diffuse essential oils in the air. Most birds have they simply cannot metabolize like any oils at all. Cats have limited ability. Usually, as long as the cat is healthy and there's no respiratory issues, you can safely diffuse any of the essential oils in the air with them. So lavender is a good choice. Chamomile would be another. I think that those are the two biggies. Lavender. You could add soothing music to the environment. Besides pets having more sensitive hearing than we do, they also have any kind of noise that's in the really higher vibrations and in the very lower vibrations is very irritating to them. So they like stuff that's kind of mid-range. So what that means is don't play heavy metal.
Or dubstep. That heavy
bass,
dubstep, that bass heavy electronica.
Yeah.
Wow, bow.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. Okay. There's lots. Yeah, there are so many better alternatives. If you're lucky enough, there's in your area there's something called Dog TV, and they play soothing music. It's like a cable channel or something like that.
Cats love smooth jazz.
Oh my God. Besides jazz, harp music.
Mhm.
My personal favorite is something called Chakra Suite by Stephen Halpern. Halpern is the last name, so it's stephenhalpern.com. And oh my God, it cycles through each of the tracks, cycles through the chakras. So basically, you're giving not only is this really calming, you're helping to balance the chakras while the music is playing. It's not designed just for pets, by the way. It's something that's designed for people. So it's really nice. I like it. And listen, let me give you that number again for people who ran and got a pen. The number for the Pet Poison Helpline is 855-764-6666. 87661. Um, you could also do size appropriate toys for mental stimulation. And for cats, that might be some of those electronic things like they have it where basically the mouse is
Yeah,
on
my
battery.
mother-in-law's cats have that thing, except her one cat has she's outsmarted. She lays on top of it, and then it makes this horrible grinding noise because she's so fat that it can't turn around. But yeah, other than that, the other cat loved it, and but the other one's like, nope, I'm gonna lay on top of it. Got it. I got it.
For dogs in particular, you want appropriate sized toys for them so it doesn't cause a choking hazard. But there's lots of basically educational toys for dogs. You just probably Google that, educational toys for dogs, and you'll get tons of stuff that comes up. Something that keeps their mind occupied. They have those little puzzle things where there's a treat and they have to get the treat out.
Mhm.
Cecil and Speedy would do well with that. Spirit would be like, I'm just going to rip this thing apart.
Yeah, I'm just
We'll
gonna
get it.
all I care about is the snack.
Yeah, we'll get it out that way. You want to definitely keep as much as you can to their normal diet and their feeding schedule. Keep those treats to a minimum. Essentially, look where you're buying the treats from. Turn the back of the package over. Don't buy stuff from China or stuff that's dyed and bleached. Know your products because unhealthy toys and treats are going to be counterproductive.
Right.
Again,
I guess you don't want to call that vet.
Yeah, you don't want to call the vet because you know what? They're there with their family as well too. If you're traveling, plan well. All right. I have a book. It's called Let's Go Fido 2, and it's an ebook, and it's filled with tips for safe and stress-free traveling. It also covers when your pets are boarded, and if you go to our website, which is woowoo girlsguide to infinitewisdom.com, the book is there. You can buy it and download it right to your computer. Extra exercise. Movement dissipates adrenaline and cortisol and results in calmer pets. It's also extra exercise dissipates adrenaline and cortisol in us as well. So take your pets out for a walk. Go around the block a couple of times. I don't know about your cats. My daughter had a cat that she would fetch. You throw the little catnip mouse and Breezy would run after it, get it, bring it back, drop it off at your feet for you to throw again.
That's hilarious. I've known cats to do that. My cats will just look at where I threw it and then look at me blankly.
Like, why'd you do that?
They're like, you want me to what? But my one cat, she loves to chase her feet under the blankets. So I call it her little workout. Like I move my feet under the blankets and she goes insane. And that's our little game. But then, it's not fun when I've turned it off and I'm done and I moved on and she's still attacking my feet. That's not my favorite part. But, I do love to give her the workout.
That's good. And some people take their cats for a walk. If you would do that, I would make sure they're harnessed really well.
Right.
Not a collar, not a collar that fits around the neck. You got to walk your cat. Make sure it's a harness that's designed for a cat.
Well, both my cats are outside cats, and Roxy manages the stress of holiday guests by hiding in the shed until everybody goes home.
All right. But that's her safe place.
That's her thing. Yeah. So,
it's
I only get
quiet.
nervous. Yeah, it's very quiet. It's dark, and unless the little kids can't pull open the door because it's very heavy. So she knows, and there's a little cat entrance at the bottom. So she knows that she can get in, but nobody else can unless it's a grown up. And and if any one of our friends bring their dog over, that's the first place she goes. She does not like dogs. So my sister has a little mini schnauzer. Our good friend has a boxer mix. So anytime, and of course all pets are welcome in my house. Roxy doesn't seem to think so, but Roxy knows where to go and she's okay. You know what I mean? And then of course, Randy has to go into the shed, pick her up, and then carry her around the house when everyone's gone so she could see that there's nobody left.
Okay.
She doesn't believe us, so we have to show her, nope, no dogs here, and then she can calm down and like get back to life.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's good. How does Yoshi handle it?
Yoshi, he's curious. He's not totally afraid of dogs. He's a little cautious, but he's not like intimidated by them either. Like unless someone actually actively goes after him, he's open to being friends. I'll put it that way. He's open to being friends. If someone makes any false moves real fast, he might take off, but he'll stay scarce and then he'll come back. He's funny. He's like I scream his name and he comes running. He like most cats will not do that, but he does. I mean, I'll even yell things like, "Where's my cat?" and he'll come. He's a little weird, but I love him.
That's good. You can also do a space clearing in your house. The house has become
I was
filled
going to
with.
ask, is, besides the aromatherapy, I'm glad you said that because I was like, oh, is there like anything woo-woo we can do for our friends, our furry friends?
Yeah, exactly. Do a space clearing. And there's lots of ways you could do space clearings. You can do like little Tingster bells. Those are those bells that are on the rope, and you cling them together, and just basically you want to move the energy around. And that's something really simple anybody can do. So you can take little Tingster bells and just go around to the corners of the rooms and just move the energy. Maybe even, I know it's cold, open up your windows, let the air circulate through the house. Circulating air will also move the energy around. There's sprays. In fact, what's Dina's website? EmbodyTheSacred.net?
Embody the Sacred.
All right, it's .net. She has wonderful, wonderful room sprays that you could spray to clear the air there. You could we'll talk about crystals in a minute, but to clear the house, crystals used for clearing would be like the selenites and the clear quartzes that could help move the energy around. So you can place those, salt lamps are another great way of helping to woo clear the air for the pets. Energetic work such as Reiki could, fill up the house with Reiki energies. That can help clear it out. You're more knowledgeable about botanicals.
Well, besides smudging or using the sage spray or Palo Santo spray.
I love Palo Santo.
Me too. And I like the fact that you can either get the sticks and burn the sticks, and then Mother Earth Gallery in New Milford carries a line of sacred shaman sprays, which includes Palo Santo, and they also have a white sage spray. And the Palo Santo spray smells amazing. I use that at my office because I can't burn anything there. But it's, same thing. You don't really want to, I think sometimes certain botanicals might irritate the pet's eyes. It might be better to spray it than to burn it inside, unless the window's open, maybe.
Okay, yeah. Dina also has I know she has a spray that has Palo Santo in it as well too.
Yeah, she's got a lot of good grounding sprays too, with like essential oils of certain trees. Like, I know that she's got this one grounding spray that I use. It's gem infused water, so it's black tourmaline infused. And then it has like cedar in it, so it's very, very grounding. I love that. So that's a good thing to spray around if everyone's energy levels are like skyrocketing.
Yeah, and holiday decorations, any of the tree decorations, like the pines in the house, can help ground the house energies as well too. We got to be careful with the plants because then we have the poinsettias and some of the bulb plants, which are poisonous to our pets.
I know poinsettias are very poisonous for cats. Is it also poisonous for dogs?
Yes, poinsettias are really bad. You got to keep them away from your pets. Sometimes some of the palm trees, like the decorative palm trees, are also poisonous to pets as well too. You got to be really careful with plants and cats. There are so many plants that cats cannot. I mean, because what's a cat going to do since he sees a plant? Oh, we have to shred that and take care of that.
Yeah, I want to chew it.
Yeah, I want to chew that. Spirits like that too.
I have to know it. I have video I caught Yoshi outside chewing maple leaves. For real. I'm telling you, he's very weird.
Well, that's also very grounding too. That's a tree.
Yeah, well, he's chewing on the maple leaves.
Well, you know what? One of the things, though, too, and I want to talk about grounding as well, too. You brought that up, is the trees, like the little palm trees. They're like little trees in our house. Sometimes just walking past and putting your hand on the trunk of your palm tree can do a lot to, like, bring you back down a bit. You could also use, and besides using the protective and grounding sprays that you were talking about, you could also put the grounding stones, the protective and grounding stones around your house. Once we start getting into the holiday season, I keep nothing but protective stones in my pocket because basically everywhere you go, everyone's energy is heightened.
Mm.
And my personal choice is I usually will keep in my pocket a piece of pyrite heart, and a chunk of black tourmaline.
Mm. I'm still a big fan of the smoky quartz.
Any of them, any of the brown, the black, or the red stones, those are all protective and grounding. Some of the other choices would be yellow stones for like your sense of self. So you kind of retain your sense of who you are, especially when you have relatives over, and then you start having egos going back and forth.
And ancient patterns of behavior.
Yeah. So any of the yellow stones can help with that. So that's citrine, and again, the pyrite, and then pink stones, love stones. Oh, keep that rose quartz everywhere. And I think that's about it. I mean, so, during the holiday season, pay attention to your pet's stress level,
Probably about the same as the rest of ours, right? And
exactly, because, they're going to be a really good indicator of your stress level. Even if you're not realizing just how stressed you are, if you notice that your pets are stressed because of the holiday, there's a really good chance you are as stressed as they are.
And I like the idea of taking them out for a walk, or even like using the excuse of taking them into another room. It could give us even like a 15-20 minute breather. People understand, it's a lot easier to say, hey, listen, I want to take care of the dog and get him out of the way so he doesn't get stressed out, rather than like, you are stressing me out and I need like a 10-minute break. You can't say that to a human without hurting someone's feelings.
Yeah, but you could absolutely say, hey, you know what? Spirit here is looking my stress. I think I ought to take him for a walk around the block. I think he would benefit from that. It's not that I want to get away from you, but I think he needs to get out and de-stress a little bit.
Yeah, because everyone understands that. Everybody can understand that.
So, any questions about what I talked about, Laura? For me?
No, I think that's pretty good. And you know what I'm going to do, which is something I haven't thought of. I mean, we don't usually have too much company since we tend to go to everybody else's house. But I'm going to be a little bit more cognizant of, like, late patterns and stuff, and, make sure my kitties are okay. And, we usually don't keep anything poinsettia. We don't usually keep any kind of plants in the house that they could eat. So I'm going to be a little bit aware of these things, and I appreciate your information. My sister has that little schnauzer that he's my dog nephew, and so I'm going to share some of these tips with her next time I talk to her.
And also, it would be good if you're visiting people who have pets to be aware of this too, so that when you're going into somebody's house, being aware that if they have pets, that this pet may not be its normal happy-go-lucky self, that by virtue of what's going on over the holidays, you might be walking into a household with a pet that's already stressed. And any pet that's stressed, it's going to be a bite risk because it's a reaction. So, don't feel the need to touch. If the dog or the cat wants to be petted, they'll let them come to you.
Yeah, that's pretty. I'd say that's solid advice. Because not only is it a pain in the neck to have to find a vet over the holidays, it's probably a real pain in the neck to have to go to the emergency room yourself to get stitches.
Oh, yeah. And then, your tetanus shot, which you probably haven't had in, 20 years?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that would kind of really put a damper on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be no fun.
Oh, and actually, here's another thing, too. Alcoholic beverages. right?
But no
Leaving them
shots for the
out,
dogs.
it can. What it can is it's a stimulant for the heart.
Oh, yeah.
So alcoholic beverages can stimulate their heart depending on how much they ingest to the point of a heart attack.
Well, that's no fun either.
And then you also have caffeine too, coffees and stuff left around.
And
So
that can also crank up their heart rate.
that could also crank up their heart rate as well. So when you finished eating, you know, pick up those dishes, put the dishes away, rinse them out. Don't leave, half empty glasses of wine or, whatever good stuff is lying around the house.
Good to know. You don't want to get your dog loaded by accident.
Yeah, we don't want to get the dog loaded by accident. So I think that's it for today, and the next episode will be on Sagittarius and crystals. That's what we're up to. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and hey, since we're coming into the holiday seasons, we're going to do a little shameless plugs right now. Okay. Laura, what have you got? What are you offering for the holidays?
Well, on my Etsy shop, I always offer the astrological chart necklaces and bracelets based upon the wearer's exact date, time, and place of birth. It's a completely unique gift. They were a big hit last year. I usually include a copy of the chart and also a long, like a sheet that explains every stone that I've used and their properties. And then, I usually include a couple of links if someone wants to do research further. I've also offering a chart reading to go along with the necklace at a discounted price. If you buy the necklace instead of a $75 chart reading, I will do one for $50. That's something that I will set up on the page. Right now I have my chart reading separate, but that's something that I can also offer. I'm also, my other jewelry, which isn't woo-woo related, I do custom work. Being a big fan of music, I do custom album covers, and that's also on my Etsy page. And I've done a couple already in advance, but I also love to do custom work. If you've got a favorite artist or favorite album, I can create a necklace using that album's cover art. It's very unique, and every time I wear one of mine, everyone's like, "Oh, wow, that's so great. Where'd you get it?" And I have to say, I made it.
Awesome.
What are you offering?
And also, there's I'm going to get to that. On our website, on the Woo Woo Girls Guide to Infinite Wisdom.com, hit the tab, buy our stuff, and there's going to be a link to Laura's Etsy page there as well.
Awesome.
So what have I got? We're doing the gift of wellness. Besides, not only for your pet, you could buy gift certificates for Reiki sessions or crystal sessions, and I also do intuitive readings, which will make a nice gift for somebody. Maybe a year, a reading for a year in advance, or one of my favorite readings that I love to do. I call it the status check, and it's about a half hour long, and it's either a phone or a Skype, and you can actually record this. And I use several different decks, the Lenormand, Oracle, and Tarot. And I get a feel for the energies that are surrounding you and where you are in the moment, and sort of like what is your pressing issue, or not whether you think it's your pressing issue, what does the universe think is your pressing issue. That's probably my favorite reading that I do. So anyway, that's the shameless self-promotion for today, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Oh, and actually, I should say, if you are interested in a reading, then go to my website, which is marioquendo.com, and hit the Intuitive Clarity Sessions page. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Take care.
Good. You too.
Bye.